Hold on a second. For a man who clearly can't even remember who he bought cocktails for at the strip club. Did Rasheeda really just humiliate Yandy on national television? Indeed, honey. This fallout isn't like the others. This treachery is straight out of reality TV hell, complete with lap dance receipts and screenshots that have been shared. Because just when you thought that hip-hop and love couldn't get any messier, they do. Jasmine enters carrying a rumor. Rasheeda falls. Her devotion is like a horrible habit, and Yandy looks frozen as if I've missed something. However, this is the true tea. Has Rasheeda been too confrontational all along? Or was she ever dependable for Yandy? And who informed Jasmine that she was now the drama's director? The group discussions were lively, and the internet was booming. What began as some he said, she said about mystery bar girls and mendicants has descended into a whole mess. Yandy was caught in the crossfire too. Rasheeda is the one pulling the grenades pin, and there is no armor or warning. The timeline is already collapsing, so let's unravel this mess. It began as a typical laid-back evening. Drinks were flowing, wigs were tight, lashes were perfect, and phony smiles were being thrown about like party favors. However, you guessed it, someone's best friend chose to deviate from the plan after their husband became careless. Yes, Rasheeda is the subject of our discussion. Two women who have survived more TV drama than most people do in real-life treatment are Frost and Yandy Smith. But this time, the pandemonium wasn't brought on by a lousy contract, a side woman, or even Mona Scott's editing wizardry. Not at all. The circle itself was the source of this disaster, because as soon as Jasmine's name was mentioned, the entire atmosphere changed like a cyclone composed of shade, secrets, and unpaid strip club tabs. Let's go back a moment. Do you recall Jasmine? The same Jasmine who caused that notorious paternity scandal to blow up Rasheeda and Kirk's marriage. Yes, she. She returned with more than just drama. She had ammunition. She said she did, however. She allegedly informed other cast members that Mendes had been frequenting her pub. Not with Yandy, not for meetings, and not for charity. A few dancers who were unable to distinguish between a lap dance and a lemon drop type of night. Him and a VIP bottle. Let's stop there. One would think that Yandy's ride or die scenario would draw her closer, alert her, or perhaps solicit her opinion. However, Rasheeda's "I'm not friends with you" sold out more quickly than a Fashion Nova flash sale. Not just any place, anyway. This occurred during a live recording. Live, indeed. Rasheeda uttered the now famous statement that left Twitter speechless. You and I are not pals. You, or you. Kirk is the only person I ride for. Since it is, let's examine it as though it were Exhibit A in a betrayal trial. She didn't mince words. We won't talk, I said. We aren't cool, she remarked, giving Yandy a stern look. The cameras are rolling. Watching the cast? I'm holding cocktails. Boom! Quiet friendship was destroyed. This is where things become really messy. What was Rasheeda's true level of knowledge before that moment? Because rumors have it that she has already looked at several screenshots purportedly taken by Jasmine's crew. And you know what? You still remember me from that night? Why sit on that kind of tea unless you were saving it for a kill shot? Is what they showed in someone's direct messages. Mendes' response to all of this was, I don't even remember that girl talking about Jasmine's bartender BFF, who swears he was a regular. Sir, she remembers your drink order, but you don't know her name. Either you got groupies or you got memory issues, and neither's a flex. Yandy had Rasheeda's back when the whole Kirk scandal blew up. And she even vouched for her when Jasmine first returned to the table during that viral meltdown episode. The rest of the cast tried to defuse the situation, but it devolved into a blame fest. Erica Banks created more chaos. Jessica merely grabbed popcorn, and Rasheeda was icy cold. And she didn't say anything encouraging or supportive. As to aloof energy and a sidelong glance that said, don't drag me in it. The fans are now questioning whether Rasheeda was ever a true friend or merely present for convenience. You know what that tells us? She had been waiting for this time. That wasn't shock. It was strategy. Was Rasheeda impoverished when Jasmine started the fire? Though we pick it up next because, let's face it, the timing was perfect. The words were sharp. The energy was big fake friend vibes. And just when you think we've reached the end, someone drops a piece of tea so hot that it resets the entire saga. What if I told you that another leak is coming? What if I told you that Yandy's name appears in a group chat, but not in the way you'd expect? And what if Rasheeda wasn't the only snake in the Rasheeda exposed grass? And what was attached? A crystal clear screenshot from a group chat that purportedly showed Rasheeda saying, Yandy is out here acting like Mendeecees is a saint, knowing damn well he hits every bar in After Dark. ATL, I'm sick of acting as though I'm blind to it. Wait, this is the same Rasheeda who declared there was nothing to discuss with Yandy after that concert incident, claiming she didn't even have the whole story, and dismissed her remoteness as merely strange energy. And now this. Naturally, Yandy's fan following went completely crazy. Phony companion. Snake with baby hairs. Since season 6, she had been acting. Like wigs in a fight scene at a reunion, tweets were flying. Rasheeda was quiet. No explanation, no denial, not a word. Caution. One shady loyalty isn't a caption. It's a choice was posted on Instagram, and suddenly the fire was out of control. Let's go back in time since this treachery has been simmering for a while. People began to ponder. Was Rasheeda ever real to Yandy? Was she just waiting for the first controversy to hit to unfriend and bounce? Recall the events of season 8, when Kirk's infidelity was exploding and Rasheeda was avoiding the spotlight. She dragged Jasmine off the fake Clueless camera while shouting at producers and standing up for her in the trenches. Yandy. Now fast forward to the present. Yandy is being publicly criticized. What is Rasheeda's job? She turns the friendship table on its head and presents the "we're not done yet." Though with the iconic statement, the only one I ride for is Kirk. She's no longer merely involved. Jasmine. The turmoil is what she thrives on. Sis is doing cryptic interviews and hitting podcasts, and all of a sudden she has a strong voice memo game. Jasmine is heard saying, everyone thinks I'm lying. But Rasheeda saw those DMs. I showed her that night. In one audio tapethit was released, purportedly from a close source. She even adds, wow, he's messy. 2. What's up with the phony play of ignorance? Let's avoid confusion now. Jasmine is not at all innocent. She has experienced scandal before. However, it creates concerns when Rasheeda abruptly withdraws from everyone. Is she concealing something? Something or simply tidying up the place before everything blows up? Because, you know what, boss? The producers' mouths were frothing. That notorious yacht scene, according to sources. It was sliced up like poor B-roll. Yes. Allegedly, a complete conversation between Jessica, Spice, and Rasheeda was cut off. Rasheeda, who is supposedly from the fire, is now acknowledged in that conversation that she had been aware of Jasmine's allegations for weeks, but didn't want to further the situation. The fire is currently a 5-alarm conflagration, sis. The entire cast is feeling the heat as the damage is done. Yandy, meanwhile, is crashing into everyone like a shattered carousel. If y'all had receipts, why didn't anyone tell me? Snapped Jessica, Erica, Spice, and even the camera crew. The answer was awkward energy, sipping mimosas as if their lives were on the line. To avoid making eye contact, one female even pretended to fix her eyelids. Let's just call it that. Rasheeda did not simply betray Yandy. The entire squad abandoned her. That's when the deepest cut occurs. Let's now discuss Mendeecees, though. This man is cool as ice, or at least he acts like it. He hit the world with this one-liner when asked about the bar rumors and direct messages. Look, I don't want drama. I just order beverages. I have no idea who the person is. That's the kind of dubious denial we haven't heard since Tristan Thompson said he was merely chatting at that notorious home party. Mona Scott's. Warning, sir. Even Mona Scott had to intervene. She allegedly threatened the actors behind the scenes to maintain decorum or face legal action. Why? Due to Jasmine's threat to attend the reunion with video evidence. Not shaky video from VHS cassette. No, supervisor. HD, timestamped GPS locked 3-camera film is what we're talking about. And when camera film is what we're talking about. And when more layers are revealed, the fans stop playing neutral. Rasheeda's most recent Instagram photo went viral. Sister, loyalty isn't a season. You waited for an excuse to bounce. Simply say it. You stayed when Kirk cheated on you with a Fashion Nova intern. However, you dump Yandy after she stands up for her man. Tell me that math, girl. The general public has no mercy. They're making points, to be honest. Yandy is not an angel. We are aware of that. She has used spin, clumsy chapters, and dramatic cuts to intimate moments. However, it's not loyalty when your friend lights the match beneath you first, based on claims she never verified. Politics is that. Damage control in high-end shoes. Here's a theory then. What if Rasheeda didn't simply abandon a friend? What if she observed Yandy's reputation crumbling and decided it was time to jump ship before it sank? She was a stepping stone for her. And guess what happened right when you thought the last bomb had been dropped? Boom! There is a purportedly leaked email exchange between a PR consultant and a top showrunner. Subject line, Rasheeda Yandy, split damage mitigation plan, crisis media takedown method. Strategies for framing Rasheeda's action as self-care are included in the thread. How to cast Jasmine's receipts in the light of clout-chasing jealousy. For the upcoming reunion special, expect a full-section pitch that portrays Yandy as emotionally disturbed. This is no longer reality television. This is a real-time media takedown tactic. A husband acting stupid, a side chick with archives, a lady who is mute, another who is spiraling, and Rasheeda sitting in the center of the chaos as if she hadn't lighted the dang match. However, what occurs if silence destroys relationships? Begins to speak louder than a shout. We'll go there next. Next, here we are then. When it mattered most, a group of so-called sisters abruptly forgot how to send a simple text. And burned relationships and receipts flew like confetti. One item, though, hasn't been addressed yet, as the Rasheeda versus Yandy controversy rages across group conversations. Reddit threads and Instagram comments from Brooklyn to Buckhead. The consequences. And it's coming in hot, boss, believe me. First, let's talk about the show. Fans are demanding answers now that the drama has gotten out of hand. Why were important conversations inexplicably cut out of episodes? Why? According to reports, were certain cast members instructed to tone it down, while others were allowed to cause chaos as if it were a cooking competition. Mastered Petty Mona Scott Young edition on reality TV. From inside production, in addition to the cast, editors, handlers, and possibly even her own shadow, Mona Scott Young is furious. According to an insider, Mona feels blindsided. This stopped being entertainment the minute it exposed the network. Why so mad? Because Jasmine, yes, that Jasmine wasn't even supposed to be on this season. Let that marinate. She was banned, blocked, and erased from the roster. However, when the drama dried up faster than Kirk's devotion and the ratings plummeted, guess who received the emergency invite? Jasmine. And instead of simply showing up, she went all out. Posting messages like mixtapes and spilling tea as if it were her side gig, denouncing anyone who has ever accused her of being a Rasheeda Leaks tea liar. She didn't mention names in a recent anonymous guest appearance on a dubious podcast, but she revealed everything else. I'm described as messy. No, the receipt is me. Some of these women would rather set family goals than be honest, even though they know their guys are garbage. Boom, mic burned. But you know what? The twist wasn't even that big. Since the public is criticizing Yandy for possibly living in fantasy land and Rasheeda for being a heartless traitor. The true plot twist is that Mendeecees may be facing legal action. Yes, legal issues. It turns out that the bartender who initially claimed that he frequently visited her lounge has a lawyer now. But not to bring a lawsuit against him, but rather to defend. Yandy goes dark herself. Production allegedly attempted to pay her to disappear, silently with a small consultant bonus on the side, but Sis hired a lawyer instead of accepting the hush money. We're talking about more than simply cast beef now. We're discussing intimidation, producer manipulation, and possibly even hush money. This isn't reality TV anymore, boss. This is beginning to resemble the Rico edition of Love and Hip Hop. Yandy, meanwhile, has gone totally dark. No interviews, no clapbacks, no new posts. Her socials are like a ghost town, and her team is quiet. And that kind of silence says a lot for someone who established her reputation on being unflinching and vocal. Rasheeda is also living her best life. Namaste core. Imagination. Oh, really, sis? She posted a clean, filtered choice with the message: boundaries are peace. Protect Rasheeda. New yours. You're Gandhi now. Particularly when a new story surfaces that Kirk forewarned Rasheeda behind the scenes about Jasmine's most recent tea before it went viral online. Let's take a moment to calculate. What was Yandy collateral if both Kirk and Rasheeda were aware of it? She was treated like a pawn and lost more than just a friend. Rasheeda had time to prepare, think, and get up. She allowed Yandy to walk straight into that trap, mic'd up, blindfolded, and surrounded by cameras. Rather than dragging her away, now word Rasheeda is reportedly being courted for her own spin-off, which is focused on business, family values, and severing connections with harmful acquaintances. How convenient, huh? According to reports, Yandy's "Where do we go from here" endorsement arrangements are on hold at the moment. Jasmine's sister is out here collecting bags, podcast appearances, mysterious TikToks, then reportedly a new documentary series contract, while Mendeecees event bookings are being reviewed internally. But boss, let's return to the main query. From here, where do we go? Because now this is more than just drama. This is a total collapse. After surviving cast feuds, filming pandemonium, crying on each other's couches, and calling each other family, two women are now unable to even have a mimosa without fear of legal repercussions and side-eye. Let's maintain it at 100. This friendship is over. The chemistry is DOA, even if the producers put them in the same scene the following season. Friendship is a contract. There are no embraces, no inside jokes, and not too many speeches. Just tension, stillness, and the most awkward reunion special in the history of the franchise. And perhaps that's the truth. Because friendship is rarely friendship in this world. A contract exists. It is a cue from the camera. The moment it ceases to further someone's plot, the seasonal partnership comes to an end. They cut your check, they cut your arc, they cut you out. Stop acting like that. And Yandy experienced the same thing as that supervisor. She forgot the cardinal rule of reality TV, quit playing the sidekick, and began defending her family. Conclusion: image over truth, always. Rasheeda took action which may have been shrewd, calculated, or even essential for her to survive in the spotlight of reality TV, even while she might have won the episode. She lost the loyalty. Thus, every move has a price. The fans don't think she's real. She is not trusted by the cast. And the program's difficulties handling a controversy that defied its own plot. It was more than simply drama. With attorneys, leaks, and aftermath, it was a broadcast takedown. And know that we called it when Jasmine eventually has her own spin-off. Was Rasheeda truly choosing peace, please? Or simply playing checkers while Yandy played chess? Is Yandy really the friend that was betrayed? Or is he simply too blind to see what was written on the green screen? Mendy notices too. Does he naive or simply too composed for someone with this much heat around them? If you ever gasped while riding this roller coaster, hit that like. For more outrageous outbursts, bogus news, and scandals that are too real for television, hit the subscribe button. Can you imagine the chaos they didn't show if this is what made the final cut? Keep an eye out, be cautious, and keep in mind that in hip-hop and love, drama is certain, but trust is ephemeral. I'll see you on Exposed and Unbothered next time.